It's about to be, oh,
I feel like it's also featuring Jesse's baby.
I'm trying really hard.
yeah.
That's doing really good.
She's using her rampage ability and Trophic Screech.
Welcome to Rolling Recklessly, the Warhammer podcast where dice decide legends, paint never dries, and every roll tells a story. I'm Grizzly, and whether you're here for the lore, hobby, or the chaos of the tabletops, you're in the right place. So grab your dice, ready your general, wake your champions, and let's get reckless. Grab your dice, rally your warbands, and get ready to throw down. Because today, we're ranking armies. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rolling Recklessly. I'm your host, Grizzly, and today's episode is one I've been looking forward to for a while, because we're doing a Spearhead Tier List. Now, if you've been playing Age of Sigmar with us for a while, you already know, Spearhead is where it all started for us. It's where we learned the game, it's where we got our reps in, and honestly, it's where it helped us actually get better at Sigmar. We don't play it as often now, and we've moved on to 1K and 2K games. But Spearhead, that's the foundation. It's easily one of the best ways to learn the game, understand positioning, and just get comfortable on the table. And because we've played it so much, we've got opinions. So today, me and Jesse are going to break down Spearhead format and rank armies based on power, consistency, ease of play, and overall performance. And yeah, some of these takes might ruffle a few feathers. So Jesse, what's up, brother? Are you ready to make some new enemies today?
Yeah, you know, when it comes to ranking Spearheads and just judging Spearhead overall, it's tough to not be, like, biased because, you know, we have the armies we like and we play. And, you know,
and
there's a lot of them.
Obviously the best. You know what I mean? It's just obviously.
I'd have to strongly disagree, but, you know, 40 Spearheads, bro, it's a lot to look at. So let's get into this thing.
It is. I'm excited. It's something big, too, because there's, like, so many different varieties. I'm excited to see, you know, what we got on the table. Alright, so before we start judging entire factions, let's gather together at the war table and talk games and what we've been working on lately. So, this week's been a bit of a shift for us. Not just in games, but where we're playing. We spent a lot of time at J&J Gaming Factory and we built a lot of great memories there. Met a ton of awesome people, and really started growing our Age of Sigmar group there. But things have changed a bit recently, and we'll be moving on and finding a new home base for our weekly games. Right now, we're figuring out what that looks like, new locations, maybe even a new day that works better for everybody. But at the end of the day, it's not about the shop, it's about the people, and that part isn't changing. We've already been getting games in at Gamers Guild on Fridays, and that's been great so far. Good tables, good environment, and we're still getting those quality games in, which matter the most. So, Jesse, how are you feeling about the shift? New battlefield, same warbands?
Yeah, you know, you have to branch out in this hobby. You could get really comfortable in one shop too long, and maybe you need to just grow in other directions. And where we are in the valley here in, you know, Phoenix and Glendale, Arizona area, there's a lot of, like, different places to go and a lot of different player bases. And as you grow in the hobby, you need to play other players, experience other play styles, and just kind of, like, I don't know what it is, put yourself in a position where you're going to experience the most variety in opponents. I learned from just playing you over and over and over again. It just made me good at playing you.
Yeah. I think that, like, expanding is kind of like what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, moving on. Like, it was nice. It was awesome to be like the big fish in the small pond.
Yeah.
So now I guess it's like fun to go there and see kind of where we stack up with against these guys. I think it's an awesome experience there. Gamers Guild is like great hosts. So are the House of Hobbies guys. Super sick. Very welcoming there. You can go there, dude. You get beer, you get food. Have a good time. Sit there and you roll dice with like good people. The vibes are good. I like that they always have they have a ton of tables.
Yes, I mean, and just the table at the accurate table size, and it's even bigger than the needed table side to give you a little side table.
Yeah.
Because we all know in this hobby, like, it's a huge format to try to play this game, and a lot of people don't have a 60 by 44 table just chilling in their apartment or their house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those who are privileged too, like, no slight against them. Like, you know, we love you and we'll be coming over to your house regularly.
Yeah.
You know, just like when you got the Reckless room, man, it's like it was such a godsend. I was like, oh my gosh, we have a home base to actually play 2K points.
Yeah,
you know,
it's been a blast. No, the Reckless room was really nice. I want to give a shout out to you actually as well for setting up a. What do we got?
Studio Reckless. Yeah, bro. The we're now recording live from Studio Reckless. Well, not live, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you guys know. No, but it's very nice. I enjoy this recording environment too. This is super awesome. So thank you for setting this up, man. This is sick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some people might miss the charming sounds of my baby in the background.
Yeah. But now for this week, I had a fun one. We had some great games this week. Yeah, we got to kind of introduce ourselves to like the House of Hobby guys this weekend at like their, the Gamers Guild. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all got to get a good game in. I played Jed, who was playing Slaves to Darkness, but like a Khorne like conversion, so Slaves to Khorne. It was really cool. It was the Varangard list, so I knew what to expect. Varangard and Chosen, double fights, like really swingy.
Yeah, I like how it's like you can know what to expect, but it's
it's tough. It's tough to like maneuver around it. Yeah. And my big counteroffensive in the beginning, my buffed up prosecutor bomb. I failed an 8-inch. No, it was a 9-inch charge twice on 3d6. So it really hurt my game, and I was just like, I made some clever plays after that, but other than that, man, it was really fun. It was a close game until I was double turned, and then damn near tabled. I only had poor Tornus available towards the end, towards the bottom of fourth.
Yeah, what was the score at the end? Do you know?
When we called it, it was 37-32, but it was only going to get worse from there, and I was the one at 32.
And you were from what did you guys play? What 5 rounds?
We were in the bottom of turn 4 when I was just like, I don't want to play this out with just old Torrance. He might be able, and it was that weird 2 objective.
Where you have to control the terrain pieces, right?
Yeah, where you have to control the terrain pieces. So I hadn't played that one yet. And even when Jed rolled it, he was like, ugh, but I was just like, let's try it out, because I want to. Even has that weird kind of deployment area, but yeah, I was glad to play that one. That one's really fun if you're like, if you're slaves, or if you're gonna be like a list like it's really punchy. I think about your like Croxagore list. I'm like, this would be a really fun list. A battle plan for you to do that list in. So
is that what the key is? So that I don't know. We had some funny themes this weekend. It sounds like we had a lot of mischarges in my game. Like there were like very big key parts, and then also another me and you played. I thought we played all the battle plans. I guess there's a couple we've not played.
Yeah, there's some 6 objective ones that we haven't seen and really played. That 2 objective one we haven't. I've
never played that 2 objective one, and then this weekend I played. Yesterday I played that one, the 6 objective one. That's like split. We played the one where it's like kind of like diagonal,
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. This one is like it's like a straight line, so it's like you control 3 evenly on this side, and you control 3 evenly on the other side.
What was the battle plan called?
I forget what it was called.
Was it the Link the Ley Lines one?
No.
Okay.
So if you're the underdog, this one you could. It might be Link the Ley Lines actually. You can pick one objective you control, and then you pick another objective.
Yeah, and then it's like you draw a line through. Yeah, I think it's called Link the Ley Lines. Yeah, I've never played that one.
Yeah, I've never played. That's what I was going to say. We never played that one. So that was, of course, we're going to get the ones we don't play there.
But you played 5 rounds, and it came down to what, 57 to 61?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that game was super long. It felt like, so here's a great example of what that game was. Have you watched Pokemon the first season when you were a little kid?
Oh, right? Yeah, for sure.
Remember when Ash, he gets his the Caterpie and involves the Metapod. He's like, sick, I got this fucking Metapod, dude. This Metapod's gonna be sick. Yeah. And then he fights the other guy who also throws out a fucking Metapod. Or a Kakuna or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they both, that's just like Harden.
Yeah.
Harden.
Right.
That was, dude, it was that for 3 rounds. Nobody controlled. We just sat there for 3, 1 and 2, because both of us had a defensive build. I was doing Scythes, which is anti-charge.
Yeah.
I didn't have Belthanos, so we're not charging. It was a very, I'm going to be patient. I want them to come to me. That was my vibe. I didn't want to be the aggressive one pushing in. I want you to come in and have to fight me.
Right.
And it was 3 objectives, or 4 or 6 objectives, so it's even, you know what I mean? I wish there was 5 where it's no, I want to take the middle. You come over here and come and fuck with me, and if you have to take the middle, I think I can hold that with 2 sets of Kurnout Scythes. Kurnout Scythes have anti-charge, -1 rend. Plus he's Nighthaunt, so he had no rend. His list was really sick. So, well, basically here I'll break mine down. So I had we'll go through his. He had the zombie dragon and he had the carriage. The zombie dragon is really cool. It pops down in any movement phase, and then it can teleport out at the end of step, even if it's in combat on a 3-up or something.
Whoa. Okay.
So it basically like striking phase, but it just goes back into reserve. And
That's crazy.
You can drop it down outside of 9 of anybody. That's like the drop-in point.
Whoa.
Then he had the carriage. The carriage is like his only piece that kind of hits a little hard.
Okay.
It has 2 rend on both of his attacks.
It looks really cool on the tabletop too.
Oh, dude! So this guy Ben, his army was super nicely painted, right? Like that was the one thing I didn't notice. He busted out everything. I was like, oh, dude, this is amazing. Like the carriage looked really, really good. The zombie dragon looked really good. Everything super high detail.
I played Ben at Scorched Earth, and he was playing the Soulblight Gravelords, and again, those were painted immaculately. So I think this is just a talented painter. Yeah, and his things look good.
He had some cool, like a bunch of like house hobbies, like measuring tools. I bought some, and I was like, hey, can you make me like custom ones? So he's gonna make me some Rolling Reckless ones.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited. We'll see if these. Hopefully, these are sick. Okay,
yeah, you know
what? A couple of these.
Jed had some really nice ones. They look like red, like Japanese porcelain. Like I'm not even joking, you bro. Like look like art. But he was pulling them out, and they had every length. And I'm glad he did because, like I said, our battle plan was measured out weird. It was like there was a no man's land in these weird sections, and then it was deployed like this. This was our territory with no man's land strips.
Yeah.
And it's 2 objectives.
It's like the bottom quarter of it. Yeah. Like you don't control, right?
Yeah, I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad I got to play that battle plan because again, I hadn't seen it, and I was like, I thought we had seen everything from this General's Handbook, but I hadn't seen this one, and I'm actually excited to play this one with a more punchier armor than what I was running. But man, my prosecutor missile did not hit. And it hurt. Yeah.
No, I bet. Like the prosecutors, those are huge. You're investing already kind of like a lot of points into like what you're, sending in. And I bet when those misses, like especially on 3d6 feels fucking painful.
What about covering 6 objectives? Yeah. What was that like?
It was hard. So normally, I kind of like the castle this time. I spread it around because I've seen he covered all of his points. And I was like, oh, for my objectives, I have to take more.
I have to imagine as Nighthaunt, he had a lot on the table.
He did. He had like a horde. So he had a bunch of like those 2 heroes. He also had like 2 smaller single like footman heroes.
Okay.
One was cool because like units within 12 inches would get like the first mortal wound skips. You know what I mean? Like they don't take the first mortal wound in every phase.
Wow.
So like say you shoot him, right, and you deal 6 damage, the first one is gonna go away. So he'll only take 5.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's all models within 12 inches of him. So there's that guy. He had another guy, I want to say that was maybe like a, I don't know, I think I stayed at his distance, so I don't really know too much what it did. I think it was it did like a mortal wounds bomb type deal.
Oh, okay. And you just stayed at a range.
Yeah, so he just didn't get that back there. Well, because one point, like, he was, like, we were both, like, screening each other out so he couldn't teleport in the back end.
And you were running your list with that a little bit more, okay? Because, you were doing big monsters for a while.
Yeah.
But now you're branching out.
Yeah. So, I had a Warsong Revenant. I had 2 units of Kurnoth Hunters with Scythes. I had a Reinforced Triads unit. Both my Kurnoth Hunters with Scythes were also reinforced. I had Spite Riders, Lancers, the Soggy ones. Those ones were really sick. I had the Branch Witch and the Arch Revenant, and then I had Drycha, the Soggy Drycha. So normally, like you said,
man, you have a proper army.
It did feel. I was like, oh, dude, this is a lot. I ran scouting forces. I was like, I'm a big boy now. I can play scouting forces.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably like a little overwhelmed at first. You're like, I got so many war scrolls to work with.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is, like, I kind of know all the war scrolls. The ones I was kind of newer with, I guess, was the Scythes.
Yeah.
The nice thing I felt really proud is like, I didn't remember all my rules right away, but I remember them like the phase after, like, oh hey, like I forgot I'm supposed to do this. Is that cool? Can I do this? And it's like, yeah, go ahead, do that.
Yeah, that's what I love about casual play.
Yeah,
you can fix things.
Well, especially like this is the first time that was same thing for him. This is the first time he ran this list. The first time I ran this list, he had a bunch of like battle light units, like reinforced. He had these ones that were cool. Like you can't charge them unless you roll over a 7.
Jeez.
So even if you're in 3 inches, you still have to get a 7.
Damn.
Yeah. Exactly. Once I hit it, I was like, let's go.
That's funny.
Damn. But it was a lot of fun. Like I said, we were like staying still until like we each scored 8. Like I turned one. I think I went first, and then I scored 8 points. He scored 8 points.
Okay.
We both did the same thing. We just kind of held the same spot. Kind of like positioned some stuff in,
Right.
Next turn, he won priority, passed it over to me. Like I was like, you can go. I was like, I'm set up super defensive. You can run into any of these if you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like Kurnoth size, and I had the Warsong Revenant or the Arch Revenant who gives them -1 to hit or +1 to hit wound. I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like now they're wounding on 2s, and it's like they're set up, and he was like within range of both of them. So
everyone had their fort set up. Nobody wanted to cross that battle line.
I tried to give the Righteous spell, which is cool, gives +1 to attacks and to wound on non-Kurnothi creatures. And I gave it to the Soggy Spite Revenants, the bugs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I hit that with the Sham, and then he rolled an 8 and dispelled it. I was like, "You're a jerk." Jeez. And then, so I didn't charge him, and then next turn I got it, and I tried to charge him, I missed the charge.
Dang.
Yeah, and that was with the reroll too. Same thing like how you said, like, missed the charge. Like, dude, this is like, should be an easy charge. I should have made this.
You know, I feel like no charge is guaranteed because in my game, like, missed 2 9-inch charges on 3d6, dice, and then right after that, like, Jed missed like 2 8-inch charges on the so he tried to go 8 inches and he missed it on the reroll. So like we couldn't go like more than 7 inches on the charge.
Ben missed a 4-inch charge with the reroll.
Ow, that hurts.
Yeah, like he was like, really? I still missed that? I was like, yeah.
Okay, Ben, you win. That is the worst roll of the night.
That's what I'm saying. We just missed, like, dude, that was the theme of the night, was missed charges. And then we had that third turn, so he pressed into like that first objective on the bottom left hand corner, like my first one, and I kind of I moved away. You know what I mean? I teleported away some guys because he was just gonna come through and take it, and he got some good rolls and I got some good rolls, but I teleported my guys out. Like I said, I don't think he killed anything except for the branch witch, and I left the branch witch. That was another thing, is I left the branch witch out in the middle of the board by herself. Like I had her with a unit, and then I teleported that unit out after with the strike and fade and left the branch witch out.
Oh man!
And it was like he like ran straight into it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, let's get rid of her.
Yeah, and it's like one of those like where the way we were playing was so cagey. You know what I mean? It was like one of those like, oh, any little victory you take, you can get like is gonna be huge. And it was like
for sure
big. Like it didn't lose, but it's like the branch witch is huge for me because it gives me that strike first on your turn.
For sure.
So it's like, and you're running into scythes, like you don't want them to hit you first.
It makes sense. And strike first, strike last is super important. In my game, the Stormcoven really earned their position in my army. They're a little bit expensive, 210 points. But if they're on an objective, they're a wizard too. Their shot can do D3 damage, and their combat does D3 damage. And I think I hit like 3 hits with them one time, 3 wounds with them, and 2 of the rolls were 3 damage. So they did just 7 damage just on one combat, and I was just like, that's pretty impressive for just a little magician group.
They're so cool that they gave them their whole manifestation lore, basically. You know what I mean? Like, your guys' manifestation is built for them, but
yeah, I did get the hammer and hammer tornado.
I saw that.
Out,
I walked over and I seen the hammer tornado, and it always reminds me of the time, like, so this is a hammer just fighting that tree, like.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I think living manifestations are really cool. In lore they're cool, and
agreed. Yeah, especially when you see it on the
cool.
tabletop, and I have like a headcanon of like kind of what's going on in like our universe,
For sure.
Watching things, like making up my own, story that's going on, and it's just hilarious. A flighting tree and like a tornado of hammers.
I understand some manifestations kind of about a paywall and scarcity thing around them. Like, you don't really see them in the stores, and it's kind of hard to get your hands on them. But I like them. I hope they don't ever go to Legends or do away with them.
Yeah, I like the manifestations. I think it adds just another thing that you can change to make your own thing. Oh, I'm running this with this.
It's another tech piece that I like, because most manifestations pop really easy, and then most wizards can banish them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just nice to have this little tech piece that, it may or may not stick around. There's nothing that feels better than when a manifestation lives for a while.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I like that. Like I said, I like the manifestations. They're pretty dope.
Did he have any manifestations for the ghosts?
He did not. He has, but you know what he had? He had really sick terrain. His terrain it's the same as the Soulblight terrain. It's like, we use it for places of power sometimes. It's like the little crypt with the coffin in them.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's their Soulblight terrain. So they have the same. It's the same exact thing.
Okay.
So that's for Nighthaunt and Soulblight, I guess.
Just a little crypt thingy.
And he added banshees flying out of him.
Wow.
Dude, that's actually, super sick. I was like, oh, dude, this is dope. Like I said, all his stuff was immaculately painted. He had those for his conversions were super dope.
That blood splatter effect that was on the army, it just looked good.
Yeah,
it looked like Dexter. You know what I'm saying?
That. Yeah, 100%. That's a good comparison. It did look like that.
Death just has the coolest stuff, man. I understand why so many people gravitate towards that army, because they're just Even my son, when
It's
I
so
offered
much.
him a spearhead, he's like, I want the Nighthaunt one. He's like, one of the cursed shackle hordes. So I was like, it's hard to argue. Ghost with sides is just cool and it's
Yeah.
nice
Well, like you
aesthetic.
get so many, and then like, oh, and that's what happened. So like he barely got that one tactic, and then he double turned to me the next turn.
Yikes.
And it's like one of those like I felt like I held it down pretty nicely. Like I have a very defensive army at this build.
Yeah.
So it's
How'd your dryads do?
they did get they smashed. He killed a bunch of them, but I just kept bringing them back.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you.
Yeah, but no, they did great. Like so, even for like my battle formation, I got to bring back 3 of them. If so, that was nice. So it's like every turn, like, oh, cool, you didn't kill them, like, boom, they're
Boom,
back.
here comes some more. Yeah.
And they should like 4s and 4s isn't great. And I kept trying to do the dryad I would kept like so the drycha. There's like a drycha combo where you cast that spell where drycha gives the +1 to attacks and +1 to wound. I tried it 3 times and he dispelled it twice. And I was like,
Oh, you fucker.
This was like a plan because this is like the sneaky bit, you know what I mean? Because everybody sees the Kurnoths and they're like, and it's one of those like, hey, watch out for these.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna hit you and they're gonna hit you hard.
Yeah, man.
Everybody knows Drycha, especially right now. She's like really making a name for herself because her model was so cool for so long.
Yes.
But her like rules were
were-
kind of crap, and now it's really good. So everybody's playing her. And
Yeah.
then she's really built nicely for this because she gives that like that charge thing. Like if you charge within 18 inches of her, you get like either -D3 to your charge or -1 to hit, and I get +1 to hit.
How'd your Spite Revenants do, the dudes on the bugs?
They did good. The only thing that sucks is I missed those charges.
Dang, so you said that was the theme, mischarges.
It was the theme of the day was mischarges.
Yeah, mischarges can really hurt a game. It can really sway the dynamic of the game.
I think you're right.
It really, like, dude, like I said, I had the prosecutors 2s into 2s, red 2, damage 2, but I couldn't hit the charge.
Yeah, it was rough. Tax game. Did you hear? He played also. I think he played Jet after you left. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he was saying he had a rough time with his game.
you know, it's that Varangard fighting twice, and then the like Chaos Lord guy fighting twice, and then I think what the Chosen can fight twice too, and that's really, really hard to deal with. I was able to deal with it a little bit, like in my game, just from like making miraculous saves and wards. But you know, that's just that's only something you can count on as a Stormcast. You really can't count on that in other armies. But yeah, it's tough to deal with. Like, you want to get in early and try to like thin that out a little bit. Is what I tried to do with the prosecutors, and it hurt, man. Not making that 9-inch charge with 3d6 on a reroll too. It hurt. It made me. I'm quitting. No, just kidding.
Sell him.
Sell him, yeah. But no, I'm still gonna. I was like, hey, if that went off, this might have been a different temperature game, so I'm willing to give it another chance.
Yeah. No. Obviously, we're not going nowhere, bro.
Who's the MVP of the game? Like, that you weren't expecting as far as your units in that game?
It was the Dryads, bro.
Yeah.
The Dryads. No, they did really well because that was the only thing he was like. I won't die completely if I charge into these.
You remember
he did not like. You could see like his own. Like you can come over here, but that's not good.
Yeah. So like
He ran into one unit. Well, he ran at one point. He ran like his little guys in. Like he knew they were gonna die, but he ran them into Drycha and into the sides. And it's like, oh yeah,
into the sides.
yeah. I will say.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
What's crazy is like no rend. You know what I mean? And then he has it's like 5 of ward, 6 of ward on everything. So that's really what it is. You know. Like he he saved quite a bit, you know what I mean? But there was the times where he like ran into the sides and he's like, alright, I saved 2 of them go through, how much damage? I'm like 6. It's like, oh.
You know, I remember early in the edition when Liberators were 80 points, and I beat you by just spamming a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's so much you can't do with it. Like, what am I supposed to do?
And you were like, I was like, well, what's your equivalent unit? Like, don't you have something you can spam? And you're like, Dryads, but they kind of suck. And I'm like, you should try them.
I don't want to do that many Dryads. I have 30 Dryads right now. I'm looking at maybe getting 10 more. I already have like a partial group. So when they sell Dryads, because they came out in the old world, I think they're in groups of 8.
Okay.
So
how many
when
points
you
are
buy
they?
them, you buy them in sprues of 8. So it's like
some asinine number.
yeah. So you like I said, when you buy them, it's 8. Like I said, I think I have right now because I have had 30, and I think I have like 2 or 3 more. You know? What is it? So
Do you feel the 30 was enough in your list, or did you want more?
well, one more reinforced would be kind of nice.
What would you take out then?
Maybe the bugs.
Maybe the bugs, yeah.
And I could just be more defensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like, especially if it's like less objectives, then I'm just sitting on things. And
For sure.
It's like, I'm making you kind of play around me. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna want to beat me, because I just have to chill. That's my job is just chill. Don't panic. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Mainly, I think I'm gonna pick a different tactics next time. I picked scouting, which was cool. I don't think I should do scouting. I think I should do Relentless and Wrathful, actually. And just hold objectives.
Copy in your butt.
Take your shit. Yeah.
Copy in your butt.
Once I seen that, I was like, it's actually good, because my job is just take the objectives and hold them at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I've been rocking with those tactics since the start of this GHB, so I just feel like these are the most, like, attainable.
Yeah, well, they seem like they also synergize pretty kind of well with each other. Right?
For sure.
You're like, one is hold more, and the other one is take one. So it's like, both, you're incentivized both times to just take objectives.
Yeah.
Which is, that's what you're kind of trying to do in
For
the
sure.
game. Is that or kill them, right? Like, that's an easy objective to do.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of sick of the confines of these battle tactics. I'll be glad when it switches.
I'm getting to that point. I'm with you right now, to be honest. Like, so it is fun. They're fun. They're nice. You can plan around them. But it's like, I'll be excited to run some new objectives.
Yes, for sure.
What did you think of, like, your opponents? How did that go? Obviously, Jed is, I mean, if you've been to Gamers Guild and you play Sigmar, you probably know Jed, and he's probably crushed you. So far what I've seen,
he's really good at the game, and he's playing slaves, so it was rough. It was a rough deal. I hung in there, better than I expected, and I thought that I had a good game plan, but again, that battle plan kind of threw me off, that 2 objective one, and I was just like, oof. Yeah. I didn't quite know how to deploy around it to get my prosecutors where I needed them to be, and I figured, like, with the portal to transport them, I was like, I can just put them where I need them to be, and 9 inches shouldn't be hard to make. But that was a foolish assumption to make, that 9 inches was easy to make.
Yeah, well, what's crazy? So these guys have been playing competitively for the last year and a half, which is like hype on them. So it's sick. We're gonna learn from these guys. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And they've been running all these tactics, so they know where you're gonna like where the ideal and optimized spot to go is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of, which is, it sounds silly, but I guess it's very important, especially once you know the battle plans and the tactics you're trying to get.
Yeah, I was able to achieve scouting, and I think I was running Restless with it, and I was able to achieve like the first of that. But after that, I kind of like stalled out tactic wise.
Yeah, I only got I couldn't get more than him, so I never got Raffle, and then I got scouting 1 after like the 4th round, and then I got scouting 2, I think, after the 5th round.
Yeah.
It's like, if I stay over here, it took me a while to get my guys out because we missed those big charges, and then I was also I knew he was trying to take points, so I was like,
everyone's trying to get set up and nobody can make their charges.
Yeah,
hilarious.
It's funny. Well, because we're both, and he was built for defense, and I was built for defense, so it's like, maybe not the best. Like, I think we're kind of like a mismatch, Like,
yeah.
It would have been. I feel like the game would have went by a lot quicker if one of us was an aggressor type.
Both sides were like, hold.
Yeah.
Hold.
It's like harden. Or they're just fucking beating our meats, like just standing there, like.
That's crazy. It's like you're just waiting to be rushed. And you're playing like Anderson Silva, man. You're just kind of like waiting, trapping.
That's exactly what it was.
You guys are setting traps, but nobody's springing them because no one can make a charge.
But he finally, once he got that double turn, he really kind of passed. But it's just toxic real high on those guys. Like I said, that they're so it was crazy. It was cool to play against them because there's like such high level. You know what I mean? It felt like we're playing with like really good guys.
Yes, ton of fun, man. Even in a loss, the game is still fun, bro. I had a great time.
Yeah, so I'm excited to play with those guys. I think it'll be exciting to go start like our new community. I think if we could find we like to play during the weekday so we can get more time into Zach especially. So I'd like to find like a weekday we can go. I think Friday was fucking sick.
Friday was fun.
Especially if we can go start something somewhere smaller, maybe. You know what I mean? Like where we can go and just kind of build up there a little bit, which would be nice.
Yeah.
I think Funkatronics would be a fun place to go. I hear there's that like Hobby Forge.
Yeah.
All those different little spots. So it'll be fun to go kind of play out more and check out those kind of spots and reach out.
Yeah, I'm excited to try different locations and see, see what's out there in this community that's getting so much bigger now.
Exactly. Yeah, it is cool. And now that we're like exploring and seeing more, like, oh, this is huge. You know what I mean? You went to Old Forge, what is it? Old
World Games out in Scottsdale, and man, they just got nice tables, nice atmosphere, really friendly staff. There's just so many places to play Warhammer or just any tabletop game in general, but you know,
get to meet a lot of really cool people.
Yeah.
So far, everyone I met all those dudes yesterday. I'm like, oh, dude, you guys are all super chill.
Yeah, and it's nice when you start recognizing faces and names, and you start like building little relationships, and people start asking you about your army and how it's doing. It's nice.
There's that kid. I think his name was Zach. There, not our Zach. We got our Zach.
Yeah.
And he actually showed up yesterday too, which was sick.
Yeah.
But there's that other kid, Zach. Dude, super smart guy. You could tell, like, he had care drawn. And I was like,
oh yeah.
I walked up to him like, what's up, man? So what's up? And he's like, I was like, I want to play. I don't necessarily want to play against you. Like,
you don't necessarily want to be shot off the table.
He's like, this is a really competitive list, so you're fine. He's like, I just come here to see if there's anybody extra. You know, that's cool. He just comes in and hangs out. You know.
Yeah.
Super smart guy. He was telling me a lot of, like, dropping some knowledge nuggies on me.
Yeah, you play KO, so like, I'm sure you're absorbing that up.
That's exactly. I was asking him so many questions. I was like, dude, I'm going to bug you a lot right now.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm very excited to run these guys, and you run the list that I want to run. He has the 2 frigates, 2 units of reinforced skywardens. These, dude.
Oh, man, that sounds like
sick.
fun.
And then it's like a hero and another hero. And I was like, that's what I'm trying to do, is this exact this thing right here.
Guns and guns.
Yeah, I was like, I like this. I think he had some Grunstock Thunder or something. Like, this is sick. But it's cool. It was really cool. Like, we got to meet a lot of high-level people. And with that, you know, we're playing better games, we're playing tighter games, and we're learning from every match. And even though we moved past playing Spearhead so much, that format is still a reason that we're understanding the game the way that we do. And that makes today's episode perfect. Because we put in the reps, we've learned the hard lessons, and now it's time to separate the S tier from the why did I bring this? So, let's rank the Spearheads. Now, before we get into this, I want to be clear about something. We're not ranking every single Spearhead in the game. There are a lot of them now, and we haven't had enough reps into all of them to give them a fair opinion on every single one. But between me, Jesse, Casey, Zach, Eric, Allie, and the rest of our group, we've played or seen about 20 to 25 Spearheads on the table pretty consistently. So, what we're talking about today is based on real games, real reps, and real experience across the table. No theory hammer, no I saw this online, just what we've actually played against and with. And this way, the way we're doing this feels simple. We've got 4 tiers. We're going to have S tier, top dogs, the ones that feel powerful, consistent, and hard to deal with. Then we have A tier, strong Spearheads that can definitely win games, but maybe need a little bit more finesse or have a few more weaknesses. Then we got B tier, solid, playable, but not like taking over anything over the table. And then we got C tier, the ones that really feel like they're working uphill. And before anybody gets mad, this is all just based on our experience. It's our favorite Spearhead lands lower than, or if your favorite Spearhead lands lower than you want, that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means either it hasn't impressed anyone yet, or maybe one of us just sucks at piloting it. So before we start placing anything, what do you think on what do you think matters most in Spearhead? Do you think it's raw power, board control, or ease of use, or just how forgiving Spearhead is when you make mistakes?
You know, I think the best aspect of Spearhead is that you get a nice chunk of the army you're interested in. You know, where I felt like Warcry or Underworlds, like, you're just getting too small of a, like, morsel. I feel like with a Spearhead, you're getting a nice look at, like, what a good chunk of your army is going to be doing. I know that in my Spearheads, I use a lot of those models in my current list.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I do see, so, like, the rules are different, like, the War Scrolls are a little different, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So
sometimes they're better in Spearhead.
Yeah, sometimes they're way better. But for the most part, like, a lot of the battle traits are the same. The formations are similar. Maybe not the same, but similar. They try to teach you, like, what the army does. Sure. Some of them, I'll be honest, some of them I don't know what they were doing when they, like, chose these traits. I'm like, this has nothing to do with the army or anything like that, but it's just what they did.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, without getting too into the, like, nitty-gritty of it, but it does feel like...
How about play style?
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, what do you think's most important? Like,
well, playstyle, it depends. Like, what do you want to do? So a lot of people, they want to be a hammer. They want to go in. They want to do as much damage as possible.
Very good.
But from playing with Eric, and his FEC army, like, I understand that, like, just movement and board control is, like, it can really win you games. He's beat me a couple times with his Spearhead with his FEC, but just because he's dropped a unit in the right spot at the right time or moved a unit retreated a unit. Yeah, he made me respect the movement phase. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy, like all the different like ways you can win a game in Spearhead. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Especially depending on the cards you get. You know, that's going to be a huge part.
Yeah, the almighty randomization of the cards, the luck of the draw. It's definitely an aspect in the game. Sometimes you draw 3 right at the beginning. You're like, oh, I got these.
Yeah.
And sometimes you grab 3 and you're like, there's no way in hell I can achieve one of these.
Yeah. You're like, how am I going to take 2 of their objectives? They own 1.
Yeah, for sure. It's like own every objective in their territory. They got their whole army.
Yeah, like, dude, this is turn 1. Yeah, so it's not always balanced like that, but I think they do a pretty good job. You know what I mean? The game itself is pretty solid. Hopefully they gave you a command point. I like how they use, like, you know, like the ability on the bottom for it.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned playstyle, and I feel like there is a playstyle represented across the 40 Spearheads. So you, with a little bit of research and a little bit of just insight on the army and what it does going before you make your big purchase, you know, boxes are anywhere from $130 to $160. That's a pretty major investment, you know, and these are tough times right now, and people don't have like those kind of dollars to sling around. But I feel like after you invest, you can get what you want out of your army, but you do have to do some research on how they play. You know, I feel like we do that before we get Spearheads.
Yeah.
I feel like Zach does it extraordinarily well in our group. Like,
yeah.
He'll go in our group chat and he'll give a lot of insight into a Spearhead he's interested in, or even just one he thinks looks cool. So yeah, your playstyle is represented in Spearhead. Like,
100%.
Whether you want to be like KG, you want to be a slingshot army, you want to be a counter charge army, an alpha charge army.
Agreed. You could just be an attrition army where you just outlast people. Like,
for sure. Yeah, I know that some of the OBR stuff is like that. So
yeah, there's a bunch of builds that are like that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's awesome, bro, and you want to get into Spearhead first if you're getting into AOS from just nothing.
Oh, definitely. It's the best like learning tool that they could potentially give you.
For sure.
Right? So a big part of Spearhead is like some of them can hit strong like trucks. Some of them just score well, and then some of them mess up a little bit, and you can still recover.
For sure.
So what we're looking at all the time is going to be power, consistency, flexibility, and how hard they are when they punish you. Alright, so let's start at the top. S tier. These are the Spearheads, in my experience, I just feel are strong no matter what. They're consistent, they punish mistakes, and they force your opponent to react. For S tier, I have the Vigilant Brotherhood, the Bloodbound Gore Pilgrims, and the Skyhammer Task Force. And I feel pretty good about this. I think these are ones that, like, when you sit down across from them, you already know that you got to be on point. So let's talk about those. What do you think? Is there any that you think I missed? Is there anything that don't belong?
Well, I appreciate you putting Stormcast in the S tier, and I will agree that Vigilant Brotherhood is S tier, but that's because they had errata it to S tier. Because I remember at the start of Spearhead, their ability to assign a 5-up ward went off once per game.
Oh, crushing.
And that just didn't feel useful enough. They eroded that to where it's happening every hero phase, like it does in the actual rules. And I think with that fix, yes, they're S tier. A lot of those units recur. You can use Plan the Attack, which is, we spoke about it earlier in the episode, that sometimes there's abilities that are different in Spearhead. The Lord Vigilant, he has an ability that doesn't exist in the proper 2K points. Yeah, where you can pick an objective and now you get +1 hit if you're contesting that objective. And I'm just like, wow, that's huge. Yeah. +1 hit, wow.
Especially on a Spearhead is a quarter of the board of like a match play board. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's just
for
like,
sure.
bro, +1 hit on a quarter of the board of that.
And everything
huge.
in your army hits on 3s, so it's like,
yeah,
you're putting something's going 2s.
Yes. Exactly. So it's I think they're really good. I love that they can reinforce, like everything's reinforced, right? Like the little guys.
Yeah.
You get prosecutors, yeah.
Yeah, you get liberators, prosecutors, and yeah, they both recur. And then you get the Lord Veritant. He's the one with the blindfold.
Yeah.
And then Lord Vigilant, who lets a unit fight twice, but gets strike last.
Yeah,
for the first
I think
strike.
he's just like, and then he's really fun to play. He's the play style a lot of people like to play. A lot of people like to fight. A lot
Charge
of
up
people
and
like
fight,
to
yeah.
A lot of people like to have good armor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nice. So we've talked about Vanilla Brotherhood. They're pretty solid. But I got Bloodbound Gore on there as well. That's the corn one, right? Like,
Yeah, you're after my heart in this episode, bro.
I think these guys are just, to be honest, after I looked at them, I was like, dude, this one's really good.
Yeah, which makes their second one, the Claws of Karanak one, it's not so good. It's a lot of fun.
The one is not as good, but it's fun. But I agree, it's just not as good. But even watching Ian pilot it, it's like, oh, dude, it's really good.
Yeah,
and he doesn't he's still learning how to pilot corn, so it's just one of those even then you're doing really good with this.
You get the Blood Warriors, who I just love, and I think they're really strong.
You get the Blood Crushers, right? Is that
and you get the Blood Crushers.
Or is that the Skull Crushers?
The Skull.
There's something.
They're the Blood Crushers. They're the rhino-looking guys.
Yeah, the Cavalier.
Yeah, you get 3 of those guys. You get some Reavers, and you get some Blood Warriors, and a Slaughter Priest. And I'm telling you, that's a really, really good list. It's really strong. You've got your Blood Warriors to hold the points
too, right? Because they're pretty much the same thing, right? Running up in corn.
And this is an army where you like you said, it's doing what people want to do, getting on point and then getting buffs for being on said point.
You want people to die. Everybody loves that part about corn. Corn is a lot of fun. I also got the Skyhammer Task Force. That's the Karajan Overlord with
I
the
love
big
these
bow.
guys. Yeah.
I just think it is very complicated.
Yes.
I think this one is the questionable one, I would say, but I really liked them. I think these guys do really I think I piloted them fairly well, and I thought I had a blast doing it, and they're really strong, even for someone who kind of whiffs their rolls, because they've got a lot of 4s and 3s, I want to say. 4s and 3s. But that boat, man,
it's nice. There's that passover mechanic. That's what I always remember about that Spearhead. Like, if you pass over a unit, something happens, right?
You can drop a bomb.
That's right.
You fly over them and hurt them with the bomb, basically.
Okay, very, very lore accurate. Yeah, so I love that. I like how you could transport a unit with the boat. So and granted, the board isn't huge, but you guys are 5-inch move?
I think it's 12-inch move. All the little guys are 5-inch, and they all come back. All of them are reinforced.
Oh, okay. So that's nice.
So that's I think is really forgiving, because you get normally the Arcanaut Company, it comes in groups of 10 in the main game.
Yeah.
And Spearhead, it's one of those things where they come in 10, so they split it into groups of 5.
5s, yeah.
They both are reinforced.
Yeah.
Then you also get a unit of Sky Wardens. You get the big boat, and the big boat wrecks, bro. You don't want to if it can shoot you, he can shoot in combat, and then you can pick the enhancement to teleport or to retreat for free. So if anybody runs into you, it sucks, because in the real game he has a 2-up save, and Spearhead has a 3-up save.
Okay.
But even then, it's still a really good unit.
Yeah.
You can shoot. I played with Chip, I believe I told you, and just right away turn 1. I don't really get to play it very often because it feels mean.
Yeah.
I shot his knights with the boat, turn 1, I went first, and I blew up all his knights.
Whoa.
The whole unit, it got 1 left. So I think they're really strong. You know what I mean?
Man, that's fucked up.
And it does feel like you can't it's kind of oppressive. You know what I mean? Is there anything you think I missed for S tier?
I'm surprised you didn't put Sylvaneth in there.
I just don't think they're S tier. I think I put them in A tier. I think they're really great.
I feel like if I told you to go home and grab a Spearhead that will win, you would grab the Sylvaneth one.
I mean, you've shown up. I've done pretty good. I'm just very comfortable piloting it, and especially if you don't understand how it works, you're gonna have a rough time.
I would put the Soulblight Gravelord Spearhead into S tier, the one with the knights.
Yeah,
I've seen that one perform really well.
Yeah. I think it just has that weakness of if you hit and kill the knights, it kind of slows down.
It falls apart, yeah.
For sure. The nice thing is they have the bats that come in the 3rd round. So even if the knights fall through, they hit the knights.
Yeah.
So they don't save as well, but they hit the knights, and you only need them for a turn or 2.
I hate how Spearhead just has this nerfing mechanic. We're gonna give you something really strong, but it's gonna come in halfway through the game. You're
I can see they're trying to balance it out, which is combat patrol has that problem, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is. It doesn't make sense. Spearhead, they do a pretty good job of hey man, you're getting this, and if you get something really cool, it's gonna come in later.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like Spearhead units end up becoming super useful. So I was talking about the Claws of Karanak Spearhead earlier. I was that unit, the Claws of Karanak, is super useful for corn armies. And this Spearhead seems to be the only way to get it right now because, Warcry was discontinued.
Oh, nice then, yeah. That's
So-
awesome that they made him in the new Spearhead. That looks like that's what like their vibe was. Like the Warcry units, like people liked, so they're like, we're gonna put them in the Spearheads.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And,
They put them
Yeah.
in the new. They put the Nurgle one in the new Nurgle one.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, here's your new home.
Anybody else you think's the Sylvaneth?
Yeah, of course, Sylvaneth. I'm going to support you on that. There's so many good ones I haven't seen. But yeah, I agree with your S tier list. Some strong like armies there. And if you play Khorne or Stormcast or KO, you're safe. But these are pretty popular armies already, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like Stormcast is
We're not
like
going to twist anybody's arm on these.
Yeah, they did a great job, right?
Yeah.
Again, this is our meta. This is what I've seen, but like they're in my opinion, these are really good, and I feel like they're really good. Like even like for new players, if you've never played the game, like this is like the Caradron one is a little more complicated, but it's very strong.
Yeah, if somebody came to me and they're like, I only have money to get one of these three, and it was the three that you just listed there, I'd be like, yeah, you're good. Just buy any one of those.
Yeah, any of those is fine.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it for my S tier ratings. Let's move down to A tier. These are going to be strong. They'll win games, and they can absolutely be take over if played well, but they don't quite feel as oppressive or as forgiving as F tier. So for A tier, I've got the Death Rattle Tomb Host. I've got Yggdrasil Spearhead. I've got the Bitterbark Corpse. I've got the Bloodcrave Hunt, Bloodwind Legion, Grunstock Trailblazers, Mortisan Elite, Sunblood Prowlers, and the Warpspark Claw Pack.
Oh yeah.
I think this super solid list right there, like any of those factions, their spearheads are really, really good. Obviously, most factions have at least 2, sometimes 3 by now. But these ones, I think, for everyone, these ones are pretty solid. I think you could make an argument for them being, some of them being S tier. You even said with being, Sylvaneth, you thought was pretty good. What do you think that keeps these from just not being top tier?
I mean, it's an impressive list of armies there, and I agree that those are all A tier, and that you're going to have a lot of successful play with any one of those armies. But yeah, I could definitely like look at this list and like start to see like, oh, there's like I already see Andraste Spearhead on there, and we just talked about how like your best stuff comes in turn 3.
I think that's why I put it A tier. Because
Yeah.
I think it's really good, but you got to play Andraste,
Yeah.
Which, I mean, super fun, but she's only got 2 turns and when she drops in, she can't move. So that's already huge.
Yeah.
So you're hoping to make a 9-inch charge turn 1.
3d6 charge.
I guess, yeah. I think you can fail it even on a reroll, right?
Yeah. We've done it. We've done it multiple times in one game.
So,
but again, it's like you said, you're waiting for your guns to show up, and you're like, all right, I got to keep this this Knight Vexilor, and these 2 units of, and its Vanquishers are usually, 5-man units, and so you just get the 2 5-man units.
they're reinforced too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's just 2 5-mans.
Oh, they're not
just
reinforced?
2 M2s. Yeah. No, they're not.
Okay.
So, and it's like a lot of times people have enough to kill 2 units of Vanquishers
Don't they do 2 damage?
against a unit that has 5 or more models.
Okay, so they're like good at clearing hordes.
Yeah, and they have anti-infantry +1.
And then what,
round.
you got the chariots? And then
the chariot, yeah.
And then what, you got Andraste?
What's cool about the chariot is, doing the power through, getting the extra mortals on the power through, you get 2 D3s instead of just 1.
Oh, nice.
So that's what's cool about the chariot. But it's one of those things where it's like, can this stuff survive until my Annihilators and Andraste show up to kill the threat? Because usually what you have on the table isn't enough to kill the real threat on the table.
Yeah.
Like if I were playing the Seraphon, it's like, oh, how did I kill the Carnosaur?
Well,
I can't do it with this stuff.
You gotta make sure you're productive and proficient. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't have like a big hammer. Really, it's hard.
It's a hodl army. Like hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, once Andraste hits and those Annihilators come down, you feel a lot more powerful.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's very much like.
And if you were smart with your units and you kept things alive, like once Andraste and Annihilators arrive, like the game feels significantly easier. But yeah, that mechanic, it kind of drives me crazy, and it always drives me towards the Vigilant Brotherhood. I'm like, I want my shit here and now.
Yeah, no, I can see that. It just takes a little bit of extra piloting. That's why I think I gave it that A tier.
What about the Death Rattle Tomb Host? That's the Soulblight Gravelords with all the skeletons, right?
I put them both up here, yeah. But I think that the one with the skeletons, we've seen Zach run it, and Zach run it very professionally.
Yeah.
I think it's just a lot of, it's a lot to take it out, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You're going to bring back the cavalry. I think cavalry and Spearhead is obviously really good.
Very good.
I think that there's a very key part in Spearhead, so in match play, I'm starting to see it's better to go second. And I think it's better to go second in match play, but in Spearhead, I think it's better to go first.
Yeah, the board is so small, and you can get units across pretty easily, especially, like you said, with cavalry. So if you've got cavalry or anything that has wings, you're getting to where you need to go.
Yeah, that, or if they have cavalry, you can, and they get that +1 charge damage or whatever, you know.
Nerf them.
That's where Soulblight, I think you can kind of shut them down, you know, a little bit if you can charge that cavalry first. I do understand it is like a who's going to go first, turn first, second, you know.
For sure, yeah.
Army. Like if you don't get to go first, make sure you screen your horses. Or
that's where Spearhead, it teaches you where deployment is fucking really key, and it's kind of, even though it's a shrunken down map and a smaller scope, the deployment is just as important as it is in big Age of Sigmar and big formats.
Oh, definitely agreed. I also really like the Grunstock Trailblazers. I think they're really cool. That's the new Spearhead 4 Caradron. They have the little boat. It gives a -1 hit bubble around the boat, and then you just run around with the boat and shoot people. If people charge you, they get -1 to charge.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's
when you said -1 to hit, some armies hit on 4s and 5s,
Oh, those armies, you just turned them off.
Yeah.
I played his Gargants.
Right.
And
they're big
just
force.
it literally turned the whole army off. He couldn't do anything.
And because the little boat he had to take out the little boat, but you can't hit the little boat.
You can't hit that. You can't hit anything. And then I would screen the boat. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got to get through the nonsense first before you do that, and then I'm shooting you on the way there.
Oh, that's rough.
So I felt like I don't know. As long as you know how to pilot it, it's a lot of fun, especially if you like shooting.
Yeah, so Caradron players, they're safe as far as Spearhead choice. Do you want an A tier or you want an S tier one?
Agreed. Yeah. The one I really like, I just wanted to give a shout out to, is the Sunblood Prowlers pack. I try to recommend that one for if it's not Stormcast, the Vigilant Brotherhood, I think is a good one. But yeah. I'd recommend that one. It's the one with the big dinosaur.
And
that one I gave it an A
right?
tier. No, Spawn Chotec. It's the other one. It's the one I run. It's got the Carnosaur. It's got Carnosaur, Croxagore, Saurus Warriors. There's one more. 2 units of Saurus Warriors. So it's 4 units, and it's what I tell everybody. It's very easy. It does exactly what it looks like it does. Giant dinosaurs run up and they smash. The Croxagore I love, or the with the Carnosaur I love that you can just go up and eat a model.
Right.
I think that's so sick. In my opinion, I just go over there and exceed your health characteristic, and I eat a model. And I think that's just really, for new players, hey, try this one. This one is sick.
Yeah, and if you need to be convinced with dinosaurs swinging giant shillelaghs, or what are they?
Yeah. Dinosaurs riding dinosaurs, hitting each other with atlatls and shillelaghs.
Yeah, I like the blow dart gun guys.
Yeah, dude, giant clubs and axes. Bro, it's awesome. So I love them a lot. They're actually in contention for my maiden focus. We'll talk about that later, but that's what I'm going to be running today, some Seraphon.
Yeah, some shifting focuses coming up with the shift of the edition.
Yeah, I'm excited. Everything's got a lot of new stuff in the works, right?
For sure.
All right, after that we got our B tier. These are going to be some solid Spearheads. You can win with them, you can have great games with them, but they just don't have control in the same exact way that I would say an A tier or an S tier.
Okay.
These tiers I'm going to go with Bleak Host, Akelian Tide Guard, Carrion Retainers, the Charnel Watch, the Swamp Skulka Gang, Ironjaw's Big Mob, the Bad Moon Mad Mob, and the Heart Flayers Troop. These are the ones where you're going to sit down and think all right, I've got a shot, but I've got to play this clean. What to you stands out in B tier?
The swag, if this was a style list, these would be in the S tier easily, because these are some really cool armies.
Yeah, that's the thing about Sigmar, man. Is whatever faction you go with, the models, they've done a great job. It's there. I think Sigmar just over 40k easily. Like they're better looking. Everybody loves them. You know what I mean? I think 40k just has 30 years of lore behind it and such a building. But Sigmar, their models are better. They just look nicer.
Feels fresh.
Game is funner.
But yeah, like I agree with this B tier. You know, these are some good lists with some good units. But yeah, you're gonna have to have a little bit more insight as far as like when to apply your buffs, when to position your armies. You know, there's some retreating themes I see in some of these armies too. So. Yeah, you know, some of these armies right here, I'm looking at this list, can be pretty squishy, you know, like that Heartflayer troop from the Daughters of Cain. Allie plays them, and I know that like they got the t-shirt save, bro.
Yeah.
So it can be tougher to play the game, you know, when things just pop.
You just gotta know what you're doing, and if you make mistakes, it punishes you really hard. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And in the Spearhead, it's almost like that's half the game, is I'm waiting for you to mess up so I can take advantage of it.
For sure, you know, I look at this list and I see that Iron Jaws Big Mob on it, and I'm like, yeah, you know, it's got a lot of power in this unit, but not a lot of mobility, and, you know, things don't really come back, so, you know, it can be tough, you know, when you have, like, attrition style, like, armies like that.
Yeah, well, some armies, like, you don't necessarily, like, fighting is not necessarily how you win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fighting and killing stuff is cool, but, like, you also need to make sure you're scoring and having stuff left to, like, collect objectives and complete your tactics.
Yeah, that see what you're explaining is like how those carrion retainers like run. Like I know that their movement and their little shenanigans, if you will really like either mess you up or be really advantageous for them. And like it's such a small board, all of their stuff is moving around or is dropping from, you know, reserve.
I definitely think it's like a good saying that like movement is huge in this game, right? Like in just like regular Sigmar, like movement and Spearhead, especially because the board is a fraction of the size, you know?
For sure.
Like, so when you're playing 2K, like a 9-inch charge feels like a lot.
It does.
In Spearhead, I just feel more confident. I mean,
Yeah.
like, if not, I'm gonna be in next turn, no matter, like, you know,
For
pretty
sure,
close.
yeah.
And half the time you're not even gonna be in a 9-inch charge. Like that's super far in Spearhead, but like you can make it easily. You know,
The smaller board format does make it feel like these regular distances, like a 12-inch move, have the damn board already.
Yeah. Well, it's like so my mom, she went to like this fight like last night, which was cool, but she was talking about how like the ring seemed kind of small, and I was saying like, yeah, like when it's smaller, you know what I mean, like you're forced to fight more.
Right.
You know, like there's no running away.
Yeah, there's less places to move, so it forces the...
And Spearhead is that exactly.
Yeah, like a cage match.
Yeah, you're in the small cage, though. Like, there's like the sparring cage where it's like, oh, we're here to work, and it's like, we want something to move around a little bit. Like, you don't want to be walking around, like, standing in front of fences and going. You know what I mean? Like,
for
you
sure.
need to, like, the way you beat him is you move around.
This is a little bit bigger than a cage. Maybe we'll call it Hell.
Yeah,
Sal.
But I think that they're pretty solid for our B tier. Is there anybody you think is a B tier I haven't said yet?
I mean, I agree with this list. You know, B doesn't necessarily mean bad. You know, B just means that this is good, but you're gonna have to do a little bit of research and you're gonna have to pilot it well.
I think it's just work. You know what I mean? You can still get wins with it. I think it's just a lot like you got a lot more to fight through. You know what I mean? Maybe there's more conditions to like your abilities and stuff.
Yeah, for
Maybe
sure.
your stuff just dies too easy, especially in Spearhead. It's really hard especially if you don't know how to play without like fighting. Because the game like encourages you, like everyone's like, oh, I want to fight.
Yeah, some armies just turn something off. You know, like you have the Bleak Host on that list, and I know that you can't put any rend into ghosts, right?
The Bleak Host is the Nurgle one.
Oh, that's the Nurgle
and
one.
I like that one a lot. I just think, especially the bugs come in later, right? You have another bug that comes in
Yes,
later.
it's got that mechanic.
That first bug has to do a lot of work, and then the Spellbox Scrivener can be good, can like not be great. Same with the I think the Plague Bears are really strong, and especially now, and even like the match play, they're really strong now. But I think in Spearhead they were stronger. They were stronger than they were before. Okay. So they're pretty good in that. I just think it takes a little bit more to pilot it. You know what I mean? A little bit. You're using the disease points. So you're like hoping to roll sixes. You know what I mean?
Man, that kit looks like a nightmare too with the wings.
I'll tell you, it's I've built now. I have one more to build, but I think I have like 5 of them. So if I have 6, I can reinforce them and then use 2 as the hero.
Okay.
So I'm excited just to spam flies. But they're really good in the Spearheads. So I'm excited for that. Is there any like standouts that you think in the B tier who are really, really good?
I mean, the Killian Tide Guard, I think they're a standout. I like the units that come in that Spearhead, and everything in that Spearhead you're going to bring with you to your 2,000 point army.
Oh, 100%. I literally just bought 2 of the Spearheads. But 2 of the Spearheads so I can run the eels. I guess we were talking about already cavalry, right? Cavalry's really good in Spearhead.
Yeah, the eels are super cool.
Literally 2 units of cavalry.
Yeah.
So it's like you're going to just run in with the eels and just do what you can.
I got the new OBR Spearhead recently, and that one has the 2 Cavalos Death Riders.
Oh, let's go. Okay, so it is 2 units of cavalry.
2 units of cavalry seems to be their thing right now.
Well, just the Sylvaneth that's coming out is 2 bugs. 2
units of cavalry.
Like 2 units of cavalry. Like, that's what people want. You know what I mean? And I think it's a good way to do that. Get rid of the Warcry units, because the Warcry units, I like them. You know what I mean? Maybe I wish they weren't necessarily in the Spearhead, but I'm happy that they were like able to get them out to people, like to buy them. You know what I mean? Because they did a good job with the units.
Yeah, and some of them are really cool. You know, like the Questor Soulsworn. You know,
I like
the Claws of Karanak.
The Nurgle has the Rotbire Creed,
which
is like, I don't know if they're necessarily so thematically fitting. I just really like them. I think they're cool.
Yeah,
they remind me of like, you know, in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Have you seen like when they go to like the swamp? There's like the swamp bender guys. They almost look like that. So they're really cool. I have a unit of them. They're
really
a
great
sick.
name for the list. Swamp benders.
Oh, let's go. Yeah. Just put a unit of those guys. They can shoot you with
the last swamp bender.
Yeah, the last swamp bender. Let's go.
Lit.
But I think they're pretty good. That's gonna be it for our B tiers, though. We're gonna go down to the C tiers. Okay, so we're gonna say they're not unplayable. They're not necessarily unfun, but these are the ones, at least in my experience, that feel like you're definitely working uphill.
Yeah.
From here, we're going to go Curse Shackle Horde, the Snarlpack Hunters, the Wall Smasher Stomp, and the Hellsmiths of a Shit. I think these are ones where you just have to sit down and go, alright, I'm going to need some dice today. What do you think is the biggest thing that puts these into C tier?
Okay, so I'm already looking at your list here, and I'm looking at Cursed Shackle Horde, and it's like, when you think of ghosts, what do you think of? Recursion, right?
Yeah.
This army has none. No, nothing comes from reinforcements.
Don't they all die, like, real quick, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't put any rend in this army, but it's a bunch of, like, Bladegeist Revenants, and, like, I forget what they are, the ones with, like, the claws for hands.
Yeah, okay.
But you're basically supposed to, like, go in and bomb with these, because you have a couple units in reserve that you could drop at any point. Okay. And so you're meant to just kind of like, it's like a pressure army. You would just apply pressure right away, bring in some more ghosts, and keep applying that pressure.
You're basically just kind of pinning them? Or what?
Yeah, it's like a pin and pressure army, and you want to keep them in their back line. And that can be tough, you know, because like we said, the board is very small. There's power through, there's a lot of movement shenanigans.
Well, then if you don't understand like how like you're like that's how you're kind of supposed to play,
for sure,
you're gonna have like a bad time. You're like, dude, what am I supposed to do? And it's like, well, you're not playing them right. You know?
For sure.
There's like certain tactics that everybody has like just to be better that their army is like you wanting to do.
Yeah, and that goes into the second one of this list, the Snarlpack Hunter is like. That one, I feel like that's a movement army. Like you're gonna win in your movement phase. 100%. If you mess up in your movement phase, it's gonna be tough because that's that one where it's the 4s into 3s into 4s, 4s into 3s profiles.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of 4s into 4s.
4s into 4s, ouch. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to fight.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple 4s and 3s. There's a couple ways. I don't think there's any rend in the army. I think you can choose like for once per battle to give everyone a rend for one combat.
Yeah,
that's no rend.
Yeah, things die. I feel like a lot easier in Spearhead than
nothing recurs in that army.
Oof.
Nothing.
Yeah,
and then what you're supposed to do is just like run away. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to get into fights. You maybe pin stuff in, and you like collect objectives.
Yeah, but like I've seen you pilot, and I've seen you have a lot of success with it. So again, C tier doesn't mean that. This is not a good one. You shouldn't go buy this. It just means that it's going to take a little bit more mental gymnastics to get the kind of results you want out of it.
Yeah.
I know because the first time you played that Snarlpack Hunters, they just got mollywopped.
Yeah, I think in turn 1 you basically wiped me.
Yeah.
Graduate.
And I was like, oh, that was rough to see. And you're like, all right, let me go back and read what they do and try to figure it out. And then you were telling me the chariot shenanigans, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's where it
once
is.
you figure out what to do, it is a lot of fun. And I'm excited to run them like match play, especially I have like a 1K wolf list I was even thinking about running today.
Yeah, that's exciting. I love those wolves.
And they're awesome models, man. I wish their Spearhead was better.
I mean, that's a good segue into that wall smash a stomp. That's those Gargant, the mini
little
ones.
Gargants,
Yeah.
I think they're very sick. They look like a lot of fun to play. But to get wins, man, there's 3 models is not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for giant models. I think most people are. You know, when in a hobby full of miniatures, and then you get a giant model.
Yeah.
And everything is a giant. So it's easy to get that scale envy, if you will.
Yes.
When you don't measure up. When you're a few inches short. I'll move on. You get that envy, but they feel like they just crumble, bro. Like, you know, what is it, like 12 wounds or 15 wounds?
I think it's 12 wounds, and I think you can give the general, if you give him like the right enhancement, he can get put to 15 wounds.
Yeah, so if I told you with a healthy unit of Croxagores, go do 15 damage.
Yeah.
How confident are you?
I think I could do it. I think I've done it several times.
And now I say do this to a 4-up save with 1 rend.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like they start to crumble a little bit, and yeah, I've yet to see them have success. I'm sure all my Sons of Bahamut players and enthusiasts are going to come at me right here, but if you have had success with the wall smash a stomp, if you have gotten a win in Spearhead, I need to know how.
Dude, DM us. Like, send us your secret sauce to win in Spearhead with the wall smash a stomp.
My girlfriend wants that Spearhead.
They look fun. I think there's got to be a way to win, right? But like, it seems really hard.
They seem very fragile, bro. I feel like most things, I feel like a unit of Liberators could fuck them up.
Well, they can spike, you know what I mean? That's the thing, is they've got 3 melee profiles, all on 4s and 2s.
Yeah.
And then, like, the general gives out -1 to hit, but if you give them -1 to hit, they're just turned off.
They got the ability to stuff them in a bag, which could be big.
Stuff them in my bag, yeah. They've got to roll double, though, your health.
Yeah.
So that's like, remember I was telling you the Connoisseur is sick, you just exceed the health. So it's like you have a unit of a health of 1 or 2, like, oh, cool, I just got to get a 3.
Yeah.
If you have a unit of 2, you have to roll a 4.
Oof.
You know what I mean? And that's... 4 sounds easy, it's not.
Yeah.
If you have a unit of 4, you can't do it. With the Connoisseur, I've eaten his Ghost Flayers.
Oh,
you know what
wow.
I mean? I was like, oh, sick, bro. There's times I was like, I could have eaten your hero. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
that would hurt. Like, on a 4-up, you're going to eat an Annihilator. I'm like, no.
Yeah, exactly. That's like it. That's crushing. And then when you have to do twice as much, it's just... It feels a lot more nerfed. You know what I mean? Because I thought that was exciting. I was excited to see him do that, and I think he's gotten to do it one time.
Yeah, so, and then, you know, it kind of goes into, like, the Hellsmiths, too. Like, I know they have that giant guy with, like, the cannons for arms. And every time I see that Spearhead getting played, like, somebody just runs in and pops that thing with whatever their cavalry unit is or their big hammer unit is.
Yeah.
Like, what is it about this cannon arm unit that it can't stay on its feet?
I think he's good. You just got to make sure you play them right. And I think, like, so they got a 3-up save, but I don't know if anything comes back. Maybe, like, their spear guys come back. They have the sick cannon, right? The cannon is dope, which...
And that's the power.
Obviously, if you're going to run, even in Chaos, you need that cannon. Just get the cannon anyways.
I feel like if you're wanting to get into Hellsmiths and that's your first spirit, that's your first taste of the army, you're gonna be like, I need more.
Yeah.
Because you get a sick cannon.
You get the cannon. I think you get the rocket thing, so which is sick. You know what I mean? And like I said, if you're gonna play the rest of the game, it's a great box.
Yeah.
If you're gonna run Hellsmiths at all, it's a great box. As far as like a Spearhead goes, I think it's just really difficult to pilot. It's really easy to like shut down. You can just run up and kill his hero if he leaves it out right away. Like you leave it up. Like I've played against it before, and I could see. I could see as a Hellsmiths player, it is one of those things. Like it's just a challenge because you're trying to hold on while you're building those demonic power points, right?
Right. Yeah.
You get one for every battle turn, right?
Okay.
you have to desecrate an objective, and then you get to a point, and you can pass those points out, and those points can give buffs to other units, right?
Right, yeah, it sounds very complicated.
Turn 1, if some armies, especially in Spearhead, can just run up and smash you turn 1, that's like your worst time.
Yeah.
As they keep going, they get stronger.
Yeah, you need time to desecrate.
Yeah, that's why you're supposed to kind of like hold them back, I'm thinking, and then you just bomb them right from that distance.
You're like, hey, Hellsmith, you back there desecrating?
Yeah. Don't hate, desecrate. But the thing about the Spearheads, I think, is that's really great about them is they can be lower tier, but they can still be fun. You know what I mean? Even the top ones still really need good play, but they're definitely feel like you have an edge if you're in the top tier, if you're in that S tier, right?
Certainly, if you have an ease, one with a little bit more stronger rules, stronger units, you're going to have a little bit easier time. You're not going to stress as much. Whereas you have something that doesn't have great saves, or you have something that doesn't have great movement, or you have something that doesn't have great attacks, then you're going to have to play around that disadvantage. Where we talked about the Stormcast Vigilant Brotherhood right away. I'm like, good saves, good damage, good rend, good rules. You're very safe, and it's I feel like you can kind of even go into autopilot in some moments where I feel like if you're playing Gitz or Skaven, you're gonna have to be pretty active in your thought process.
100% agreed. When I'm thinking about a good Spearhead, I think you want to even a new player can run this pretty well. You know what I mean? So, and you could still get wins as a new player. I think as a new player coming in and you go and pick up that Skaven tie box, you have 2 pretty solid Spearheads.
Yes, you do.
For the value you're getting it at, especially now with it being out for so long and being so mass produced, there's value in that box. And when you're playing Spearhead, I think that's great.
I think of that Cities of Sigmar Battle Force box that just came out over Christmas, and it's got both the Spearheads. The guy with the sniper nest on his back, and the other one with the cannon. And I'm like, okay, in one Battle Force box you get 2 Spearheads. That's a pretty good deal.
Really, that's pretty good. It sucks. I wish their Spearhead was a little bit better. I've looked at it and it looks very difficult to pilot and actually get a win because it looks like your guys are going to die right away.
Yeah, I mean, if we had to put those into this tier list, they would definitely be in the C tier list. But again, they're just so cool. It's men with guns.
They are men with guns. I love it. So with that, let's transition. So we've talked through that. Those are your closing thoughts on our Spearheads. Before we move into it, we got a lightning round. I gotta ask you some questions.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're only 2 men, and we can't cover every Spearhead. So if we miss yours, we'll maybe do a part 2 to this somewhere down the line and cover some more. But yeah, let's lock in on a lightning round.
Well, if you think you have a Spearhead that you have that should have been you feel what are you thinking, man? Why did I miss this? Let me know. Send me a message. You can DM me. I'm on Discord, Instagram. So if you think I missed something, you feel insulted by some type of way, let me know, and we'll hear you out.
Yeah, you're you didn't talk about this Spearhead.
Yeah, how did you put this in here? But I think this is pretty solid.
Yeah.
So let's move into the lightning round. All right. So now that we've ranked everything and we've probably made a few enemies, it's time for us to do the lightning round. Quick answers only, no overthinking, just your gut. Ready?
Let's do it.
Alright, what's the best Spearhead in the game right now?
Vigilant Brotherhood Stormcast, baby.
Alright, I'm with you on that one. What's the most underrated Spearhead? The one that people are sleeping on.
I think it's that Git one with the wagons, bro.
You think it's the wagon ones?
I think it's the Git one with the wagons, bro. I think with the right shenanigans, the right play, you could really do work with that one.
I think you're right. I know I've done some nonsense. What's the most overrated Spearhead?
It's that Giants one. It's the Sons of Bahamut one.
That's, I think, a beautiful take. I love it.
It's so overrated.
It is. It's just because people get in, they're like, "Oh, I got Giants." You're like, "Dude, I'm about to."
They read the war. They read the attacks on the war scroll, and they think, "I'm gonna win with this."
They see 3 melee profiles.
Yes. Yeah. They get excited, bro. But they're so whiffy.
Especially if you don't know how to split your attacks, and it's like you're splitting and whiffing. That's not good.
I'm gonna call them the 3 whiffs.
What Spearhead do you not want to see across the table?
Oh man, Sylvaneth.
Yeah.
I'm tired of dealing with tree lords.
You see them and you're like, God,
I have fought tree lords more than any man on earth. No.
I love it. I love it. I'm happy I can do that for you.
You know, Slaves of Darkness is that way too. Those knights.
I literally was thinking the same thing. That's what I was thinking with slaves. I was like, when you set him down, I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
And then like you have to try to like screen out for those knights. Ugh.
Yeah, I find when you play that list, you got to deal with those warriors early on because those are the kind of like the unit that's easy to get out of there.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Oh, it's like so the knights are coming, but if they have healthy warriors and knights, you're gonna have a hard time that back half of the game.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
You're that little kid in The Simpsons best. I'm in danger.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you play slaves, I feel like in any format.
Yeah,
you're in danger.
That's 100%. That's another theme of the weekend. If someone's brand new into the hobby, what spearhead are you handing them? Can't say Stormcast.
I obviously, like I want to say Stormcast just because I love them so much.
Oh,
But you know, if you're brand new into the hobby and you want something like really like fun to play and it's got a nice diverse unit, the old OBR one, the one that came with the Gothazar Harvester and the Mortek Guard. I started Spearhead out for Allie with that one. And she loves that one, and she knows that Spearhead inside and out, and knows how to play it, and it's a lot of fun to play, and it's forgiving, and it's just a cool one. So the OBR original Spearhead,
Nice.
Sure.
I love that. I did not expect that, so I'm happy to hear that. All right, last one. What's your personal favorite Spearhead right now? Not the best, but which one's your favorite?
Okay, so I know I just showed them love, but the OBR's Mortison Elite, the one that comes with the Necropolis Stalkers, the Immortus Guard, and the Morghast Archive. That I would also recommend that one to a new player because it's four little units and they're really, really powerful. It's an army that you don't want to be double turned by something that has strong heavy hitters because it'll start to crumble if they pop those Necropolis Stalkers with Immortus Guard. But the Relentless Discipline ship mechanic is really fun to roll out every turn. It makes every phase feel active, even in the opponent's phase. You're like, oh, let me resolve this Relentless Discipline real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my personal favorite right now. I have it, and it's immaculately painted, and I just love that one.
Nice. The OBR especially, they got new book, new models.
Yeah, I've got a big gray pile of shame right now, 2 boxes of Triaxes, the Regiment of Renown, and then the new Spearhead. So I got to get all that built up so that I can shoot you.
Yeah. Not excited. Those can stay in the pile. Alright, I think those are some good takes. Maybe some questionable ones. We'll let the listeners decide. So if you're listening, go ahead and drop us a comment, send us a message, hit us up on Instagram, let us know. What is your S-tier Spearheads, and what did we get completely wrong? Alright, that's going to wrap up today's episode. I think that's going to bring a good end to today's episode of Rolling Recklessly. Thank you, as always, Jesse. I appreciate having you on for this one, and I feel like this was a good one.
Oh yeah, love this. This is such a great topic.
Yeah, this was a blast. I was excited to do this episode, basically from the time we kind of conceived this podcast.
Oh, absolutely. I remember in the beginning, just like with the Dryads, you were so against Spearhead, and I'm coming in as a new player, and I'm like, let's try Spearhead! And you're like, no, my Spearhead's weak. And then you tried it, and you're like, I think I've made a huge mistake.
Well, what I think is funny is so we had this great learning tool, right? Where I was like, yeah, I could teach you this game really easy if we just learn this game. And I was like, no.
Yeah,
you're going right into hard mode.
I'm
throwing you in the deep end.
You're like 2,000 points. These are Kurnoth with great sword, and this is my tree lord, and this is Alariel. Yeah. I'm like, so what did you bring? I'm like, my 2 starter boxes.
Got some liberators over here.
I feel like once we went down to Spearhead, and I was getting those wins over you with the Stormcast, I was like, yeah.
Do you feel better?
We're on an even playing field now. So yeah, I feel like Spearhead, it's if you want to have an even, so it's so hard with this hobby because we want to get new people into it, right?
Yeah.
But there's no way somebody can have as much as you have right away.
Yes.
And a lot of people, it's going to take them months, years to get that way.
Oh, exactly. You can tell, like, it's going up to, like, now we're playing with, like, the big guys now. Seems
Yeah.
like, so we're going in there, and you could just see there's, like a veteran difference of people who played a lot, of people who just have a lot of stuff and a lot of access to stuff right away.
But if we said to that group on Friday night, just the other day, we said, hey, everybody, we're just playing Spearhead. Nobody would be like, "Aw." I feel like everybody would be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's try Spearhead out.
Yeah, no, I think Spearhead's it's like I said, a lot of fun. I think it's a great, like, balancing field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's not a lesser game. You know what I mean? I feel like Spearhead has its place, and yeah, I feel like our little group has outgrown it, and it's not going to see as much play as like 1,000 points or 2,000 points. But I feel like Spearhead, it's always going to have its place. It's a way to experience an army, like a glimpse. It's a nice little glimpse into an army, and it can really sell you on an army, bro.
I think that is 100% a great way. Like what you're saying, it's a glimpse at what the army is before you invest. Like, oh, I need to get 2,000 points of this to actually know how it plays. You're like, nope, here, play the Spearhead. See if you like this. If you like pushing these guys around, you had fun with their rules. Go ahead and dive in. And I think Spearhead's a great way to, like, you want to have multiple armies now. I think that's their best selling point. Is like, now you don't feel so crazy buying like multiple 2,000 point armies. You're like, no, but if I can buy like 500 points of each army, that's sick, because now I have a little taste of everything. I can play every little play style.
Yeah, let's say you're financially well off, right? Like you're the general manager of Subway. All right,
let's go.
So you got that general manager Subway money, and you're like, I'm gonna give me 2 boxes this weekend. All right, let's just say you're gonna get 2 boxes, and you're like, I'm gonna get Slanesh and Lumineth, both the Spearheads. Like, you're not wasting your money. You're doing a trial of both armies, and then you can decide at the end of that. You can be like, oh, I liked Lumineth more than Slanesh. I like Slanesh more than Lumineth, but you could decide you hated both of them.
Yeah, totally could. But that even then, you'd still have a different play style to play with when you're
For
like,
sure.
because eventually the one thing about the game is like, you keep running the same thing over and over again. It gets kind of boring. You know what I mean? You're doing the same match over and over again, and it's just like you're gonna lose force like of wanting to do it.
For sure. I've made this comparison in the past. I said Spearhead is like playing a fighting game.
Yes.
And like where like you get your characters and they have their select move sets, but like that's the extent of it. And so the only variation is having more.
Yes, more.
And that's what GW wants. They want us to go more.
Exactly.
Because I was at I was at the store the other day, and I was looking at the new Spearheads, and I was just like, oh, man, this Lumineth, that does look cool.
Yeah, 100%. That's 1,000%. They got it up on the wall. That the zine shot, and I was like, I could run all the elves, bro. Like, if I get the Lumineth, then I'm just like,
I see those Slanesh Spearhead with the ostriches. I'm like, well, I want ostriches, man.
yeah. You're like, I want derpy ostriches, because they do. They're really cool, derpy looking creatures, but they look super awesome. That's why it looks sick.
It looks like a chocobo if it just choked a hoe.
Yeah. All right, Jesse. We put in a lot of work with it. We put in a lot of reps in the Spearhead, and it was actually cool to sit down, break it all down like this. So I really appreciate it, especially because the format, more than anything, is really what helped us learn how to play Age of Sigmar. And even though we like playing more 1K and 2K now, Spearhead is still our foundation and the foundation.
For sure, it teaches you the phases. It teaches you when to use like commands. It teaches you the value of victory points. It gives you a lot of the fundamentals.
Exactly. It's fast. It's fun. It teaches you the game right away. So if you're new to Age of Sigmar, or even if you've been playing for a while and you just want to get better, don't sleep on Spearhead. As someone who slept on Spearhead and poo-pooed on Spearhead, I'll tell you right now, I regret it. It's a great tool, great game.
Yeah, I'm glad you came around, because Spearhead has been so much fun with you and Zach and our whole group.
Oh, it's been a blast. When we did the tournament at J&J, that was a blast. We got like all those people going, all those games going. That was sick.
Oh yeah, and even when we did the tournament at Funkatronics Rex, that was
the one right there. That's what I'm thinking. That needs to be our spot.
You got that trophy.
They get that trophy.
You want to steal it? Be like, I want to earn it.
I want to earn it. Yeah. All right. Before we close out, pass it to you real quick. You got any shout outs to give this week?
Always shout out to Zach, our teammate and our brother. I love you, man, and I know you're listening, and I know you're supporting. And you got to get back on the pod. We miss you.
I know, Zach. We got to get some time, get you in here with us talking. Always shouts out to you, man. We appreciate you having you in here with us. It was awesome. You got to come in and play with us yesterday. I had a blast. I'm hoping you had a blast.
I want to shout out my girlfriend Allie. She just finished 1,000 points in her Daughters of Cain, and I mean it's fully built. She's been telling me I need black primer. She's ready to get these babies painted up, and then probably on our way to that battle force and that spearhead that's coming out soon.
Let's go. I'm excited. I'm excited. With another person, another army into our meta. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody runs Daughters at there. You know what I mean? Well,
Yeah.
Gamers Guild, which was pretty sick. So it'll be awesome. We're just getting this big influx of everybody into it, which is it's awesome to see.
Faction representation, everybody's repping 2 or 3 armies. It's nice to see Allie get her Daughters of Cain up to where she's playing multiple formats with them now and not just stuck in Spearhead land.
yeah. So big shouts out for that. You had anybody else?
Oh man, you know what? Let's shout out to Gamer Guild for hosting the House of Hobbies gang. That Friday night was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Shouts out to my opponent Jed. Shouts out to everyone who came over to the table and showed interest in the game and gave advice and asked questions. There was a lot of traffic that was coming up and complimenting our armies and asking questions, and I just appreciate that. It felt cool. It's nice to not feel alone in this hobby. To look across the tables and it's like, hey, we got like 6 tables. That's 12 people playing Age of Sigmar right now. It feels really nice, and it feels really like warm and welcoming to have this kind of community.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was just a Friday night. You know what I mean? Like, there was no tournaments, nothing was going on. It was just a Friday night, and they had so many tables going to Sigmar. So I think that's awesome. So great shout out, Gamers Guild. I just want to shout out, like we already said, Zach, Eric, all the Reckless crew. Thank you guys. Thanks for coming and playing with us. Anyone who's just been showing up, if you want to come up and talk to us, roll dice with us, I've always appreciated that. So shout out to you. Shouts out to Zach from House of Hobbies. That guy is a brainiac. I can't wait to pick his brain. Try to get him on here.
Yeah, definitely. And he's into KO like you. Like, he's going to be a big resource for you. The same way Jed is a big resource for me for corn.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the resident corn expert.
Jed's another guy. Jed, very, very smart dude. I just talking to him and hearing his perspective and his takes on things. Oh, dude, you're a genius.
Yeah,
especially when he says it makes me feel like, oh, that 100% makes sense.
Sometimes playing a really, really skilled player can be unpleasant, but Jed never makes it that way. I feel like none of the House of Hobby guys make it that way. None of the Strike Last Gaming guys make it that way.
They're cool because they kind of break it easy on you because they're so nice you don't realize that you're about to get raped on the table. You know what I mean? They're you're like, oh, why are you tightening your tie like that? Your bow tie. And they're like, oh, nothing. Yeah, I'm going to buy you a beer. I'm like, nice, thanks, man. They're because I like to get wined and dined before,
Yeah, it's like you're being so sweet with how you're treating my anus.
Yeah.
But it still hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
They lubed it, you know what I mean, which was nice, But
at least in defeat, we're still getting a nice little lesson.
Yeah, no, it is. I'll say the one thing, it's been nice. As competitive as I am, I've been on this losing games this streak, obviously, against all these guys, and it's kind of, we're learning a lot, you know what I mean, which is huge. It's a cool takeaway.
As I was leaving last night, I told my girlfriend, I was like, wait, I haven't lost 2 games yet.
That was a big thing last night when we were playing, and so I was like, you're not crushing me, bro. This is sick. And he's like, well, I was like, yeah, you're I'm in here, we're hanging, you're not just coming in here and just running me over right away, which is nice.
Yeah, if in this game you can be crushed, and like I said, I've said this before in prior episodes, you gotta learn to celebrate your opponent's success.
Yes, and that's what these guys, man. That's I think super awesome about the story.
There was a moment where Jed had charged my Lord Terminos. And he has a chain activation where he hits and then lets the reclusions hit.
Yeah.
Well, on my turn, I did that. And Jed had forgotten that I was just activating and I didn't use my Quicksilver draft. So he charged them again. So on his turn, I went, all right, I'm going to pop the Quicksilver draft and I'm going to swing with my reclusions again. He's like, oh, I forgot about that artifact. He's like, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
So, even though he's about to win and I'm kind of stopping what he was doing, he's celebrating that I did a cool little, hey, I got you here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was a lot of cool moments like that yesterday. We had just, he was like, well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. You embrace the gotcha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it can be fun. It can be pleasant. Like, don't be hard on yourself if you're losing a lot of games. Don't be hard on yourself if you're getting crushed. Like, that's not what this is about. You have to, in order to get to that level, you have to crush. In order to be a crusher, you gotta get crushed.
Yep. I love it. I
remember my first time crushing you.
Yeah.
It felt so damn good.
It does. It feels great when you're doing it. You know.
I remember being crushed by you and being like, if we could have only played one more game,
yeah,
I would have played another game tomorrow.
Exactly. You're like, what are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I haven't even made it home yet. Yeah.
You recently posted that clip where the guy like rolls the 4 but it's cocked.
Yeah.
That is totally our dynamic, bro.
Yeah. Oh, it's a 4 hour and I guess I gotta go.
I'm like, it's clearly cocked. You're like, is it?
He said it's as flat as my butt.
That was just really helpful.
But having a good time, so thanks for the Gamers Guild. You guys are awesome. That's really what this hobby is all about. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you stay connected with us at Instagram at rolling_recklessly_podcast, and then at YouTube Rolling Recklessly. And make sure you join us on the Discord, links in the bio. And that's where we do our sharing of our hobby progress, list, talking games, building the community, and even more. We got some new content coming soon, so I'm super excited. We've got a lot more coming, more episodes, more breakdowns. We're getting closer and closer to wrapping up Season 2, so stay tuned. And as always, until next time, may your crits be high, your paint never dry, and your rolls ever reckless.
Hell yeah.